Oopsie. Good one.
Hi guys. Welcome to Wrench to Drive. Let's have a look at the greatly reduced price drag slash. Yeah guys, the voice is computer generated because my place has been noisy for a while now. Look at the bright side, I have to stick to the script this way. Alright, let's not bury the lead. I never thought I would buy a drag slash because that original price tag was so mental, but here I am reviewing one that I paid for with my own hard-earned cash bucks. Is the reduced price drag slash the best budget basher around right now? Maybe. It is so much fun to drive that I'm a believer. There used to be a thing called a parking lot rally where guys would organize a car meet and include some tire smoking fun. Call me crazy, but drag cars sound a lot more fun when you add some showing off and sliding around pylons and whatnot. For this video I ran this thing with some buggy street tires and it was super fun. Maybe more fun than the all-wheel drive Traxxas rally slash. Seriously. Rear-wheel drive is a lot of fun, but I'm an old-time buggy guy, so you probably need to factor that into your opinion of my opinion. One thing to keep in mind is that this car weighs in at 5 pounds, almost 2 pounds more than a Bandit buggy, so it is hard on buggy tires. This 120-minute run really shredded these tires, which had held up quite well on the Kyosho Phaser for many runs. And that was only on 2S. But dang, it was fun. And yes, this thing is a bullet for drag passes with TSM turned on. Beginners will look good until they turn TSM off, and when you do turn it off, you better be ready to drive the car. I had one moment where I managed a major traction pirouette that had me cursing myself in shame, but I got lucky and didn't even scuff it. Spoilers. It's a different story in this video when I whack a curb and mess up the bumper real good. Let's not beat around the bush. That original price tag of $650 in Canadian dollars was full on mental. On sale, 400 Canadian dollars is basically the same price as the Bandit VXL, and this car comes with a Metal Gear transmission and a full-size truck body. Not bad. Then you have the Traxxas brushless system, which is not bad at all, and the radio, which is pretty good, but none of which anyone in their right mind would buy at full ticket price. Guys, the radio does not qualify as great in my opinion, but the biggest thing I miss is proper knobs for the major features like dual rate on the steering, which not too many people seem to value as much as me. Yeah, I get it, multifunction, but I like knobs, just like your mama. And $50 to add a $5 Bluetooth chip in the form of multi-link is just too stupid for me to get behind. Sorry, I don't love all things Traxxas, but the cars themselves are pretty good. You do get a gyro in the form of TSM, which works fairly well. For my money, the Kyosho Phasers come with the nicest stock radio that I have used, but to each their own. Of the budget radios, I really like the Austar AX6S, and the ever-present Dumbo RC budget units are pretty good, although the prices have gone up a lot. I'd rate the radio on PAR with a $50 Chinese cheapo, where the feel is just a matter of preference, and the power system as superior to budget Chinese stuff, but not as superior as many people seem to want you to believe. The biggest problem with the Chinese stuff is that there is some luck involved. I recently burnt up a 60 amp Hobbywing clone speed control on the second run, but I have two others that are quote unquote the same, that have lasted years. I haven't had a single motor flat out die. In fairness, I don't push my Chinese stuff to the limit, but I have seen plenty of name brand electronics die during what I would call normal use too. Bottom line, if you value Traxxas electronics, there is real value in this car at $400. The tires are really nice quality, and the drag slicks are extra wide replica Mickeys, which are going to cost you real money to buy separately. The suspension works surprisingly well considering there are no sway bars, with a stiff rear setup and really soft front. The diff is set up super stiff, which makes for really fun street driving and excellent drag racing launches. You get two pinions, a 22 that will get you about 40 miles per hour on 2S and a 29 that takes it to the limit. Watch your temps because there are no fans and the motor starts to get hot pretty quick. It was about 23 Celsius for this run, and I had to take a break about 8 minutes into my running because things were getting a little toasty even only running the 22. I was surprised because these buggy tires are only 90mm diameter and way lighter than the drag slicks, but I do have a heavy finger and there are no fans. I'll be adding fans. The body isn't my favorite. To be blunt, I think it looks a little cheesy being so wide with that big blocky cab, but the quality is pretty good and the details like the grille and bumpers look really good. I went with the white because I wanted to do some sticker and decal paint schemes. This first one is just colored electrical tape cut into triangles. The leaves are about to start turning where I live and I thought it would make a nice sort of fall-inspired theme. It's not quite what I was shooting for, but I don't hate it and it was really easy. As for the running, well, I hope you can tell from the footage that I had a blast. This beast slides around really well and has an absolute ton of potential on regular street tires. This was my first run with it and I was just messing around getting a feel for it. I hope you can tell how controllable it is despite my driving being far from polished on this run. My initial plan was to use this as a cheap speed run car, like just a go-fast toy to see if 100 miles per hour on 4S could be done on the terrible roads where I live. I know this stretch that I'm playing on looks good, but even on a decent surface there are so many rocks and bumps that real speed is super sketchy. Having now played with this two-wheel drive monster, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it other than bag on it hard. I'm thinking it would be worth trying out a pair of hoons on the back. That's right, a pair. Imagine how much cheaper that is than for half price. And this car is pretty light so I can't see them only lasting a single run even the way I drive. The only downside is that I doubt this thing weighs enough to get them to smoke. Stay tuned. As you can probably guess, I highly recommend this car at the sale price of $300 American or 400 Canadian dollars. I've been pondering what a reasonable price would be now that I own one and I can safely say that $650 is way too much and $400 is a legit good deal, so I'm going to say $500 would be reasonable, or maybe $550 if you're a Traxxas fanboy. Traxxas is probably going to cringe at the very thought of that, but if they really want to make money they should just start selling rollers, unless of course those electronics aren't quite as premium as they would have us believe, so the cost of a roller would be more than anyone would actually want to pay compared to a ready-to-run version. But enough simmering resentment, because this car really is sweet if you want to try two-wheel drive street bashing like we did back in the old days. The car that springs to mind for me is the old Tamiya Sand Scorcher, because it was a crazy donut machine with a very realistic feel to the driving because it was so heavy. Keep in mind that I haven't driven a Sand Scorcher in almost 40 years, but this thing had me feeling those old feelings like I was a kid again. And we know that this thing is mental fast compared to a Sand Scorcher, right? If it looks like fun to drive based on this video, I would say jump on it at the sale price because it's a great car and affordable to run. That's it for now. Stay tuned for more videos on Wrench to Drive where we ask the eternal question, do you drive to wrench or do you wrench to drive?
Fuck. Oopsie.